You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Sun King Brewery. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. The entire crew is here, starting off with my man Lonegevity. How are you, sir?
Doing great, man. Thanks for asking. I started my Kanye West haircut, but I didn't finish it.
I see you. Yours is, you need more patches though. You.
I was gonna try to carve a leaf into the top of it.
Oh,
but I didn't.
I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
Be great now. Be a genius.
I can see the doves though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's crispy though.
Getting there.
Yeah, it's crispy though.
Oh, thanks.
My man Jay Moore is in the building. What's happening?
Not too much, blessed and highly vaccinated. I can't do the Kanye West haircut.
Yeah,
I can't
came
pull
home.
it off. I mean,
if you let it grow in, it might grow in.
Yeah,
the way
maybe
his hair was
if
cut.
I don't.
I mean, low key, he can't even pull it off. So
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, let's be clear. That haircut is a cry for help.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about it.
We'll get to it.
My man DJ Jay Diff. What's happening, man?
Salutations.
How you doing?
I'm good. My hairline is intact.
Oh,
I don't have any patches.
Yeah.
I do not have a Britney Spears haircut.
Okay. You feel good
all
about
is
that?
good in the world. Yeah.
Shout out to all the people with hairlines. We don't appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat as well. The chat has been quite entertaining as we had a very good pre-show conversation. Got a little heated in a hilarious way because I didn't realize.
Hey man, we got to stand up for our heroes.
These are our heroes. This is true, and one of our heroes is really getting played out here in these streets. But it's all good. It's all good.
Not really.
Thank you. Red August is in the building as well. Got some nice glasses too. I see you. Expensive. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the topic. Okay. Drink.
Okay.
I hate I be wanting to throw stuff at him all show.
Okay.
I ain't do it that way. Drink champs. Mr. West. We saw it. Everybody saw it.
Saw it.
Did you see it? You seen it? Red August seen it? Jay Moore seen it?
Saw about an hour and a half of it.
Yeah, that's how dedicated I am to this podcast. Because I didn't want to come in and have opinions just off of clips. So I actually listened to the whole thing.
Let's be careful. And the reason I'm saying be careful because this will easily spill over and over and over. So let's be mindful as we toss it around.
I mean, if we don't need to get into our third topic, I think we'd probably be all right.
That's what I was going to ask you. If that's the case, because there's a lot to unpack here. So we may maybe
in that case we probably should have talked about Aaron Rodgers, but oh well.
So we can do this one. We might. So you said we can take a break and then continue perhaps.
No, we're not going to do that.
All right, cool. All right, so check this out. Kanye, Drink Champs. Shout out to Nori and DJ. Is it EFN? I always mess that up.
This is the first Drink Champs episode I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, I don't watch podcasts.
You don't do that or
shows.
verses? Yeah. Okay.
I just don't watch talk shows like that.
It's hard for me
or listen to podcasts.
Just because Nori interrupts good stories so often.
That's what I've heard.
I'll give Nori.
I think he did pretty decent.
I'll give Nori peas on this.
I feel like he did a lot better on this because there's other ones where I'm like, could you please stop clapping?
This is the first one I did watch all the way through.
and he said,
well, Kanye said during the interview, no claps and no horns. He specifically said that during the interview.
Nori will be so he'll be so what's the word I'm looking for?
Drunk?
Inebriated. Yeah, we'll do that.
Inebriated.
Yeah, I was gonna say inebriated. He's drunk. And he'll just make some noise and clap for just anything.
Like he's been sitting there taking shots the whole time, and probably since before. You know how we chill before the show. I'm sure they do the same.
They
thing.
really chilling though. But I'm just gonna toss it around and to the room, and you guys give me your thoughts about the interview. For me, I think it's one of the best ones they've ever done. Honestly, like probably top 3 or 5 maybe that I've seen that they've done. Easily top 3 or 5. Shout out to Nori for staying out the way. I mean, it seemed like Kanye was pretty much Kanye throughout the whole thing. Like we knew. I didn't think it was going to be this clear. It kind of went off the rail a little bit, but I just liked hearing him talk about music. Yeah. Like when he was talking about Busta's voice, when he was talking about Mobb Deep, when he was talking about you know,
towards the end
influences.
of
Yeah,
it,
like
yeah.
the more he started talking about music and you know how things, appeal to him and how he hears certain things, I thought all that was dope. I enjoyed that more than, you know, a lot of the other stuff. But hearing him talk about music and giving Beans his props about calling him Yeezy, you know, I thought that was dope. Like I heard he's gonna give him like 50 million, like 1.5 a Yeezy in stock, like shareholder. That's dope if he does that.
You better get it in writing.
True.
Yeah.
So I thought all that was dope. I mean, he dragged John Legend. I laughed at some of the jokes.
Oh shit.
Destroyed 𝗏𝗏 𝗀𝐻𝐿𝐲. My only beef is the Just Blaze.
Now, really,
comment.
he destroyed Big Sean.
He killed Big
If we don't
Sean.
talk about who he destroyed,
He's just bitter.
Yeah.
But the Just Blaze thing, I didn't like that.
I didn't like any of that. I didn't like the Just Blaze, the Big Sean,
I didn't
or the
like the
Talib,
Just Blaze.
because the only reason he said anything about Big Sean or 𝗏𝗏 𝗀𝐻𝐿𝐲 is because Kanye was out there doing stupid stuff politically and kissing Trump's face and
Yeah.
wearing a red hat, and they came out and said something again. And Kanye didn't. He felt disrespected because of that. That's the only reason he said anything.
𝗏𝗏 is a person that threw him lobs in the early parts of his career too. If we're gonna keep it a buck.
And 𝗏𝗏 went on record and actually his response was just like quoting things that Kanye has said about him.
Yeah.
he used his name for picking up dimes.
Yeah, but
the Just Blaze
those that
Just
talk
Blaze
that-
copycat thing was trash. That's trash. Like, first of all, Just Blaze his production style is closer to Binks than it is Kanye's to begin with.
he thinks he's way better than he is.
Second of all, Jay-Z clearly said, and he said on the interview, he was like, I said everybody bring in soul samples. Like,
that was the assignment.
that's the assignment. What do you mean copy? Like, Just Blaze, there's nothing on there that sound like anything copied anybody on
Just
that.
Blaze sounds like Just Blaze.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And
He has his own sound.
but he's way closer to Bink than he is to Kanye. So that was trash. Like, I'm cool on that. But I mean, it's one of the best interviews they've done, hands down. Probably top 5 for me. Jay Diff, go ahead.
I mean, I just enjoyed the interview. I'm the resident Kanye fan, so I have to speak from that point of view. And I mean, I this was the most I wouldn't say eloquent that Kanye has been,
I know what you mean, though.
but it's the most straightforward, on the same path.
Yes.
Not deviating and going over here and over there. It was raw, and it was Kanye. I mean, it was the same guy who we met on the College Dropout.
I would agree.
How many years later? I mean, he was the same guy, and he made some good points. He had I mean, his opinion on certain things, maybe even like you said, the Just Blaze situation. As far as biting,
Yeah, that's cap.
I can't necessarily say that Just Blaze is a biter.
Definitely can't say
That's
that.
cap.
You can't say that.
That's cap.
Now, as far as his success, measuring his success, that is some Kanye stuff, and that goes back to your point before we started the show, as far as him being a narcissist.
Yeah.
Because I
He
mean,
just
you
can't-
can't measure your success on what somebody else wants their success to be. I may not want to be this fashion designer, producer,
Politician.
Jesus Christ superstar type cat like you are. That's not what I aspire to be.
Yeah.
I mean, Just Blaze came from a pretty good upbringing,
Mm-hmm.
for those that know his story.
Yep.
So he's probably not even tripping on out here making all this money. I'm pretty sure he's doing pretty good for
Just
himself.
Blaze is beyond comfortable.
Yeah, he's beyond
Yeah,
comfortable.
he's
Anybody that was on those early albums is doing all right.
he's
Yeah.
beyond comfortable.
Yeah,
So,
he's doing his thing. But Kanye was in his bag in some of those talking points that he made. He gave Jay his props as far as when it came up to the whole versus thing.
Yeah.
He pretty much said he will verse anybody and he will win against anybody, and pretty much there has to be like 4 categories or something like that. But he said he will not go against Jay because that's his boss.
the boss.
And that's respect, because without Jay-Z and without Dame Dash, there is no Kanye. Nobody was giving him the keys to get into the door without Rockefeller.
He gave Dame peas too.
He definitely gave Dame peas.
Yeah, he gave Dame peas.
I'm glad to see everybody giving Dame peas, to be honest.
He
with you.
deserves it.
He does. But I mean, as we talk further, I can come up with more points as far as what this is about. But I think he did a good job as far as this interview is concerned.
Jay Moore, talk to me, man. Give it to me.
I actually enjoyed the interview because I feel like this is the first time in a long time I feel like we're actually hearing Kanye's voice as opposed to a representative or somebody who's trying to make someone happy. I don't know. But you know, this is something that I think we all need to come to terms with, is that Kanye West has always been kind of a terrible person. But
he's not a terrible person.
No, I'm putting it in context.
But he's been kind of a terrible person.
He's jerk, but he's been a terrible person. At one point, he was a terrible person on behalf of us, the culture, if you will. When he said that thing about, George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Facts.
But at the same time, that was a terrible thing to do. When he ran up on stage for to do the thing at Taylor Swift. You know, could we feel him? Yeah, but that was a terrible thing to do. That
wasn't very nice.
You know, when he screamed on the people at the first American Music Awards where he was nominated, and you got to understand the American Music Awards. That's not opinions. Yeah. That is about putting numbers together. The people who win that, it's about airplay, record sales, this, that, and third. And he's back there screaming, and Alicia Keys has to calm him down because he feels like he just deserves these awards.
Why you think me and Dame cool?
Yeah.
But like I said, he's been a terrible person on a certain level, but he was a terrible person what we felt like on our behalf. When it switched and we felt like he was being a terrible person.
Why you gotta be terrible though? Why you gotta use the word
saying
terrible?
what I'm saying.
Hey, gave you a couple examples of terrible now.
That's not necessarily terrible.
But then
I kind of agree with him.
But then when he decides to go ahead and tap dance for this white supremacist in the White House.
That's terrible.
And but you know what? That's consistent. He's been consistent.
Yeah.
And
he's been consistent since the beginning, though.
Maybe terrible is but you know what? These are things where like this is wildly erratic and antisocial behavior. And the thing is, it's just crazy to me. How can you call these other people sellouts when you were hugging Donald Trump and calling him your dad and saying the red hat is like giving you superpowers, especially when that was extra. Especially when
I never G'd for that.
Especially when we see what the red hat meant to people on January 6th, and you still talking about I still wear the red hat. Like, but the thing is, and he said it. I don't read.
Yeah, he said I'm not well read.
I don't read. I guarantee he probably doesn't watch the news.
He's like, I'm not well read.
I venture to state
that's not a thing to celebrate.
That Kanye West doesn't even know. If you ask him, hey, what'd you think about January 6th? He'd be like, I don't even know what happened on January 6th.
He don't care.
He was like, he'd be like, was that the AFC Championship? He doesn't know what happened on January 6th.
Pause it there.
Like, here's somebody, I'm just going to keep it real. If you gave him a 7th grade civics test, he'd probably get a D-.
Lone, jump in, man. And we're gonna continue back around. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm not done. So yeah, you got to come back over here.
I'm gonna bring it back. I got you.
I mean, I don't.
Give me something now.
It was an interesting interview.
What was interesting about it?
One, I was very shocked to just see Kanye in public talking to anybody. That was the first thing.
Agreed.
Two, I'm tired of Kanye West. I'm just tired of
the
this
only reason
guy.
I listen to it is because of this show.
Like I'm tired. Like he's done enough in my lifetime where I don't need to hear about him anymore.
Forever.
I'm done.
I just got some new Yeezys.
That's cool.
That's cool.
I don't need to hear any more Kanye West things. He's given us great music throughout time. He is who he is, to Terry's point. He has consistently been who he is, and I don't like that person.
That's fair.
And so like, I get that he has mental problems.
He definitely does.
And I get that he's working through it, I think, to the best of his ability. But he is a narcissist. And to me, he is hip-hop's version of Donald Trump, and I don't like that. And I don't like... so as I'm listening to the interview, yes, there are certain parts it was kind of cool to see him, talk stuff about Jay, give Dame his props, talk about the Siegel. Like when he humbles himself a little bit, I can kind of take something in.
Those are the parts I like.
But he is so overwhelmed with him being the greatest person ever born in the history of the world, even though he seems to praise God. Okay. Like he thinks he is God. So I don't. No matter what he says,
He might be a 7%er, man.
Don't do that.
Well, okay.
Hey, you said so. I caught something that you said earlier as we got started. As I was talking, I want to ask you about this. You said, and if I quote you wrong, correct me. I believe you said something to the effect of he thinks he's so much better than he is as a producer.
I think.
Did you say? Is that what
me personally,
Okay.
I do believe that. I think he has an inflated ego around what he is and what he does
as a producer,
as an artist.
As an artist, okay.
Now, does this mean that he's not really good at what he does and has been really good at times? No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay,
but I think he has the struggles that every artist that really cares about the stuff that he does has, which is, do I continue to make something that people really like, or do I try something different and see what the result is going to be?
I don't think he knows how to make that anymore.
I don't think he does either. No, I don't think he does either. But when he's sitting over here and talking about like, I need 4 different verses for all of my different whatevers, I'm like, well, you'd lose 3 of them. Like, sure, like some of his stuff is like different in a different genre, and I can respect the creativity around it, but It doesn't mean that it's like this greatness that he proclaims it to be. And he has a way of trying to self-proclaim himself as a genius and as this greatness, and I just don't subscribe to that.
Disney.
I don't subscribe to that idea. So, like, I don't want to take away from the good parts, and I don't want to focus on the negative parts about this interview,
Sure.
because there were a lot of positives and all that other stuff, but there was a lot of stuff that he said that I was just like, man, shut up. Like, you don't have to go at Just Blaze like that.
That was completely unnecessary.
You don't have to go at Big Sean like that just because you feel slighted. 𝗀𝗱𝗙 𝗀𝗲, like, I get that he feels like they slighted him.
They got to apologize.
But they don't have to apologize for him for him being a terrible person.
Has Kanye West ever apologized for anything?
No,
Has he apologized about things he said about slavery was a choice? Did he apologize about saying the things he said about Harriet Tubman? So if he's not in line to apologize, then nobody owes him an apology either.
But he feels like he's owed that.
Yeah.
Right. Like that bleeds through him when he's talking about
Terry,
it.
let me ask you. I'm gonna come back around. Let me ask you this. One thing I noticed is Just Blaze, Big Sean in particular, both said something to the effect of, man, I was just with him. I was just talking to him. He just asked me about being on the project. We were just messaging and just texting about this, and this. So how does that make you feel when you see people come out and say, I was just with fam? Like, does that give you the vibe that he was just fronting and stunting and taking advantage of the opportunity?
It depends on what that conversation was like. Like, was it an issue where they ran into each other somewhere, or was it something where they actually were together? At the end of the day, I don't like that energy. I mean, I'm not one that's going to say that I'm going to act brand new in front of somebody and then get on the show and say something else. If I don't rock with you, I don't rock with you.
Right.
And you're probably going to know it in person, because I'm not about to rub elbows with you or be friendly with you. I mean, that's 100%. Just what it is. But for him to say that Big Sean was his biggest failure is whack in itself.
Yeah, that's
I like Big Sean, but you signed Designer.
Yeah, you can't say nothing about
you
your
signed
biggest
Designer.
mistakes when you signed Designer.
You signed Designer, and you pretty much jacked this song. Used it for yourself.
Yeah, he did.
That's what I'm saying. You pretty much jacked the song, used it for yourself, and then left him out to dry. And he wasn't even great by far.
When that Timmy Turner stuff came up, we acted like that didn't even happen.
He's sitting there. He looked like Blind Fury. Shout out to Blind Fury.
He was cold. Blind Fury was cold.
He's still cold.
Not being funny, but the way he's snapping but he's not even rhyming good. Yeah. But I mean, he said some other things on that interview that was whack. Like when he was talking about you don't need a house. Now I understand the financial things as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
The whole, and I see hedge fund kids, they're making themselves homeless. That's not cool. For you to be able to, well, I'm going to do this.
That was his analogy.
Yeah, I'm going to do this experiment where I'm going to be homeless. Although I'm a hedge fund child, I probably got 10, 20, 30 million in the bank.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to live like a nomad, live off the land, and just kind of get this experience. That does not make you be able to relate to these people
At all.
because you can turn that switch off at any time. And that kind of goes back to race relations and things of that nature. That's a whole nother situation.
Yeah.
But I thought that was whack to compare what some hedge fund kids are doing. You are from the south side of Chicago, sir.
Well, he tried to make it like since they do it.
Yeah, since
Like
it's
it's
cool.
cool.
No,
It's
that's not cool. That sounds like the older guy trying to fit in. You are from the south side of Chicago.
Yeah.
You need to be a little more down to earth and realize where you're from. I give you kudos for being for Chicago.
Yeah.
And coming up while Jordan was the man. Everybody wanted Jordan sneakers. Now you got your own Yeezy brand.
Yeah.
That's solid. Like, but there's certain ways and moves that you have to. You're responsible. Like we were talking about somebody maybe a couple shows ago about you have to be responsible for your actions because of the position that you're in.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, me being a Ye fan, he doesn't capitalize on his influence like he should. He doesn't, he turns it, he sways it to the wrong side.
That's how I
of
know
his
you can.
influence.
That's how I know you can keep it a buck, because that is a fair assessment. That's the Kanye West fan that you are. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's
he is
fair.
who he is, but he definitely sways things to the wrong side of his influence at times.
Well, the thing is, when you are rich and you're find yourself, you've made a decision to be homeless, that's a whole lot more different than if you are poor or you've been coming off a situation.
Can't relate.
You have don't compare that, because look, if you are domicile insecure,
Yeah.
and if you've ever been in that situation, there's nothing fun or adventurous about it. Okay, so it sounds good when because he can paint a picture with his words, even though sometimes he uses words incorrectly, and that's fine because so do I. But
I did earlier.
you got to understand that, like, if
I will
he is
later.
in rarefied air, and like, I'll just be honest, there's a lot of things that people's like, oh, let's clap for that. Oh, he's a genius. It was he dropped some meme knowledge in there.
Meme.
Because, like, he
know
was
where you're
like,
going.
yeah, and the Klan created Plan B. No, they didn't. All right. That and Plan B and RU-486 are not the same thing.
That's that right talk.
Do your Googles on that. And he tried to get this bar off twice. It was like, yeah, we elected Kamala Harris and we ain't seen her since. I was like, well, once again, considering what we saw in this last administration, like, we're not really supposed to see the vice president because she's the president of the Senate. She's there to.
We didn't see a lot of Pence either.
Because you know what, these people are there to
You pay attention to what they want to pay
But
attention
the thing
to.
is,
There you go.
you're there to she's there to especially in a deadlock 50-50 Senate, she's there to cast the deciding vote. But once again, Kanye West, like I said, he probably get a D- on a civics test, so he's not interested in that. He thinks that's a bar, and he thinks, oh, because I supported Trump, I got to get these bars off to make Kamala Harris look bad. Also, he said the whole thing about Big Sean is like, how you gonna make your first single ass? Ass was the third single. I know that because I was in the clubs at that time. The first single was Like It's My Last. The second was Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay, which you, Kanye West, were featured on.
Yeah.
So here's somebody on your label.
That's the one that was most popular.
Yeah. So like
And
when the ass remix, we got to edit that some kind of way.
Do we?
No, we good on that. I think
Hit with Nicki
good on that.
Minaj, it went over huge.
I don't even know. Like,
So
I think we clear on that.
I mean, once again, people just be like, they'll run with it because they want to laugh and they want. But a lot of the things he says, where I was like, that was kind of dope, but at the same time, like, I'm listening to him keep talking about Balenciaga and Gap, and but he wants to do all these things.
Virgil.
his peers.
And
These people are his peers.
and and Louis Vuitton, and I was like, okay, maybe it is a means to an end, but to me, it sounds like you just trying to charge top dollar for the cotton that we already picked.
I mean, it's the truth. I mean, he's literally living his label's name, getting out our dreams. And I don't fault him for that. I just fault him on his delivery. So if he came out, he's always been this artistic art student type individual. And this is the stuff that he was into. So him doing it is actually pretty dope. And it's inspiring to see somebody that wanted to do that type stuff and is actually doing it. What the fault is his deliverance and how he approaches it and shares it back to you. I understand it. So I understand the qualm as far as why people don't rock with him because of the way he does things.
I mean, but you did.
It's dope how he's been able to literally do these things.
But you did say also that there is still in the midst of him, you know, accomplishing everything that he said he was going to do. And he's been speaking these mugs into existence since he started. So to your point, that's always a dope story. But you did also mention that there's a lack of accountability, not only in his presentation,
a lack of accountability and a lack of actual knowledge. Like he keeps saying the whole thing about it. Like he said, like, and I agree with, I was like, that was kind of dope when he said the thing about like, you know, why we got to have Black History Month instead of Black Future. But at the same time, every time you bring up Black history, all you talk about is dogs and water hoses and slavery. I was like, what about Garrett A. Morgan or Benjamin Banneker or the great inventors?
It's all about
like,
the context.
Context is important.
It's true, but I was like, you know, if your Black history program in your mind is nothing but slavery and dogs and we shall overcome, then I understand why you would say that. But like, we've contributed so much to this country, so much to this world, and I see like slavery. I could talk about Black history and never get into slavery or the dogs and the water hoses, because what we've contributed globally is so much more than that. Now, like I said, I think the whole idea of Black Future Month, yeah, that's dope too. But like, I think he has this whole, like I said, I think there's a part of him, and like I said, this still kind of. And this is and this is going to be controversial. And everybody listen, you get mad at me. There's still a part of him that's just ashamed of the things that Black people had to go through, and he's always pushed this proximity to white greatness that has always bothered me. Like when he talks about being in these rooms with these people, he was
name dropping so much.
He wants us.
He said he was going to do it too.
He said
that don't make it better.
He wants us to be impressed that he's been in the room with these white people. And like I said, you know, when we had like the show that wasn't a show, I said, I said that, you know, who is a Kanye West fan? Yeah. And I still to this day believe it's people who are impressed by uber wealth, access to celebrity, and access and you know, there's two exotic white women, and
I am none of those.
I'm just saying,
you're holding on by a thread.
You know,
I mean, you're trying,
but I'm saying, like, you know, think about how long Kanye West has been making music, and like, you know,
Terry don't check off any of them.
Hey, like there are other categories we can get into, but it's all good. Yeah. But you know.
If you said shoes now, then they might have.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, there are people who who enjoy the antics of Kanye West.
I would agree.
Who don't even know any of the songs off of, you know, Late Registration. They know I'm
gonna call him out on his BS though.
They know about the $1,800 homeless T-shirt, you know, that he tried to sell. You know, like, and that's another thing where he talks about how we're controlled by these brands and things. I was like, yes, but once again.
He tried to sell us like he is going to be a brand.
Your valuation.
He is a brand.
But that's
the reason you're a billionaire is because once again, you're trying to get with these white folks to sell us back the cotton that we already picked.
That's a bar.
So I don't really want to, you know, it's hard to hear from you.
Hold on. Hold that thought. Hold on real quick.
Kanye West.
I'm coming back to you.
Okay.
Different angle.
All right.
Influence.
Okay.
He talked about, he was cooking right there, by the way, both of y'all actually. Influence, Future. He named Future as being the most. I think it was the last. What was it 10 years?
Something like that, man. You know how I feel about it.
He mentioned Soulja Boy too, and then
top 5 with Soulja Boy.
Top 5 Soulja Boy, and I laughed when he said, "Did y'all hear the verse?" I cracked up when he said that because I'm sure that verse was trash.
No, I heard the verse and it was trash.
And Soulja Boy went off online. That's another story, but I kind of felt like that was going to be T-Pain. And I sat back and thought about it. I'm thinking he might be right with Future. Like, what were your thoughts on that?
It depends on what exactly we're talking about. I feel like T-Pain was before T-Pain's influence on the entire genre of hip hop is crazy.
Come on, man.
Especially because of, I mean, obviously the auto tune influence, but also his production and his singing. Man. Like
come on, man.
That boy need his flowers.
T-Pain is an exceptional musician and an exceptional influence. So
I've seen that boy live.
Yeah, and he's dope.
Yeah.
He killed that.
And he's
Tiny
funny, and he seems like a good person.
The Tiny
So-
Desk made me a believer because.
But
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I can see where I don't want to like. I get the Future influence because
I get it.
There's no denying the Future has also then beyond that influenced a whole generation of.
Yeah,
I
Everything
must have
else
been
too.
in a whole nother dimension
nah,
during this.
you ain't miss it. No, you didn't. You ain't miss it. It's out there. You ain't miss it.
It's still there. Anybody that sing raps a little bit.
Yeah,
That's-
that's from
Future.
Future.
Yeah,
Definitely.
with anybody like if you think about all the kids
It really
now,
is though.
Honestly, I can hear Future in Lil Baby. I can hear
Yeah.
Future in Da Baby. Like there is,
Migos,
yeah, I can.
which influenced the whole. It's like
if you
Yeah.
think about it though, Terry, if you really think about it and look at the the starter kit, I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
I don't
If you-
wanna-
if you
I don't
look
wanna
at
think
if you
about
look at the starter kit for a lot of these artists, they're gonna do what they said. The sing rapping with the auto tune. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna look like Lil Wayne. Like these are starter kit things that you see. Lil Wayne's still influencing the culture, and he came out
yeah.
how long ago? And every kid you see got
98.
dread, got the locks, the tats,
Yeah.
face tats. That's Wayne. All that's Wayne. But to Future's point, with the auto tune and the singing and the melodies and how melodic some of these records are, that's him.
I think it's him, and I think it. Inspiration and influence always has an earlier point. Always. So like, even before T-Pain, something inspired him to do the things that he was doing.
Shout out
Probably.
to Roger Troutman.
I don't
Do
know.
your research.
Well, yeah, but he
I
flipped,
see where you're
he
going,
flipped
though.
it a completely different way.
100%.
Yeah,
So-
because he
100%.
wasn't using the vocoder.
100%.
and he
You're
wasn't
right.
using
You're
it.
right.
He wasn't using it how it was supposed to be used. He's just like, I'm just gonna turn it all the way on.
True. True.
So,
True.
but yeah, I mean, I guess I can dig it. I guess that was one of the comments where I was just like, well, I can see that, and maybe I don't know. It's so easy.
What
to,
about the Soldier Boy comment?
I laughed.
No, I agree too.
Yeah, I
I agree. No, I
thought you were talking about that.
I think Soldier Boy's music is horrible, but there's no denying his influence.
Oh my God, when he talks
He
about,
opened up doors.
he opened up a lot of doors.
There's no denying his
like it
influence.
basically showed every artist you can, if you're not going to try to be a part of this internet revolution and social media, then
You
honestly
losing.
you don't have a lane here.
Lose.
I like
was
you
that?
talked about not hearing music from here on out. I don't have to hear nothing else
No, I don't
from
either.
Soldier Boy ever, but I'll never knock his influence.
No, can't.
I never knock his influence.
If we talking about somebody that's set for life as long as he don't mess up.
Facts.
Soldier Boy is that
Yeah.
guy.
Facts. You know what? We I think we pretty much hit. Is there anything that we missed? You guys think that was standout moments? We talked about the bean. The beans kind of came after the fact. I heard there's actually a part 2 of this.
Oh, really?
They're gonna do. Yeah, I heard it's gonna be a part 2.
Wow.
I
Which,
don't know if I got
I mean,
energy for that.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. Sun King Brewery is what we're drinking on every episode. Check out their many local locations, and they might just be selling in your city if you're not in Indianapolis. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as $3 a month. All details on newoldheads.com.
goddamn right.
right, we'll cut that out.
It's already going to be cut out because I cut the partners out.
Gotcha. Get it off your chest then. That's cool. Shout out to the partners as always. And shout out to the chat as well. Y'all have been very active tonight. We appreciate it. Lots of good comments in here. I've been reading them. You know, we've been cooking out here. It's getting a little hot in here. We cooking, but I really see the comments and we appreciate those. All right, let's go ahead and jump into, let's see.
This is probably going to be a little bit longer of a show, so enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is everybody aware of the Astroworld situation with the festival and Travis Scott? And
Yes.
now there's mad layers on this one.
I'm not overly familiar. I haven't seen any videos or anything.
Okay, so
but-
I'm gonna try to paint a picture the best way I can. I'm trying to find. There's multiple articles to reference, but he had a huge festival. I think it was in Houston. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
In Houston. And it's like 50,000 people there, man. And there was some point where a lot of the people pressed up towards the, what do they call it at the front? The
little gates or whatever.
railing that they have. The
No.
Barricade.
barricade. That's what I'm
There
looking
we
for.
go.
And people started to get trampled. And I took some notes about the aftermath. 8 people ended up dying. The youngest person that was injured was 10 years old. There were 300 people that were treated for injuries. 17 people went to the hospital. 11 people suffered cardiac arrest situations, and the police chief the police chief in that area actually came out and said he warned Travis Scott about having this show because of, I guess, where it was and the amount of people and things that may happen.
I'm not sure if you're familiar about these shows, but this is like a thing that happens at like every Travis Scott show.
That's what I was going to get into, because I'm not
rage.
That's what I'm saying. So, I saw some of the video.
Not like the death.
Oh no, not that part.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Just how they get down. Like I see where you're going, but there's layers to this that go beyond just the people. What happened, and people are saying that he ignored it. Like I've heard that. I've even heard people talk that it was like satanic rituals. Yeah, like it's like people was getting
that part right there. Listen. And this pisses me off.
The floor is yours, sir.
That part right there.
Talk to me.
It pisses me off that every time something like this happens with a black artist, it's Illuminati related.
Okay.
Every single time.
Those kids were sacrifices.
Yeah, come on,
the gates
man.
of hell was opened up. I read all this.
Why are black people the only entertainers that are recruited to the Illuminati?
I'll tell you exactly why.
And it's literally been going like, what happened at his concert is nothing new.
No, it's not.
I was actually at the Wu-Tang concert with Rage Against the Machine and Atari Teenage Riot.
Yeah, the reason they're banned from
at Deer Creek. Yeah, and the same type of situation happened. I think like maybe something happened to like 2 people. I was there, and I was part of what was going on, and he did, and kind of inside. I'm not going to say who did it, but somebody did say, come forward, you know what I'm saying? Forget the barriers, but blah, blah, blah. Somebody did say that. So Wu-Tang cannot come to Indiana as a group, as a whole group anymore, because of that show. But we're talking about Travis Scott. We all know what type of shows Travis Scott has. We all know that he tells people to rage. I mean, what is an organized rage?
What do you say to the people that say
a riot?
What do you say to the people
that organized? I mean, when they say they told Travis Scott
thing, I don't know,
that this could be a problem. Is that something? Are they directly telling Travis Scott, because this is a Live Nation concert? So Live Nation sells the tickets, so they sell as many tickets that can accommodate this area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how does this fall on Travis Scott? Not saying that he's totally oblivious and not guilty to anything that went on, but to point the blame at him for what people in the crowd are doing.
$1 million lawsuit.
Come on, man. And that's what it is. It's a money grab.
They filed lawsuits when the court wasn't even open.
They can't wait to file a lawsuit
$1 million on him already.
You cannot.
Him and Live Nation.
And somehow they're suing Drake too.
Yeah, they trying to sue Drake too because Drake got money. So they, what's his name? What's my guy? Roddy Ricch was there too. He said before they could even add his name to the pot, he was like, "Look, I'm donating all my earnings from Astroworld to the people that were hurt during this."
Right.
So he pretty much took his name out of the hat as far as who y'all trying to sue.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand why. If you're a fan of Travis Scott, you know what he does. I mean, this is what he does, and that's not absolving him of what's going on. But in the same token, they were saying that he didn't care. I showed a video. I seen a video where he specifically told them, help that person right there.
Yeah.
Somebody give him some room, help him. And then because he started humming, all of a sudden it turned into a ritual. He was sacrificing this person.
I saw that.
Come on, man.
Jay Moore, I see the disgust on your face. Let me ask you.
Man.
Let me ask you.
Okay, I'll address the Illuminati thing first.
Let me play devil's advocate, and then you go. Okay, let me play devil's advocate. So, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing. I only got a chance to look at one. I don't know, maybe 2 screenshots. So I haven't watched the full video, so I don't know what the whole set looked like. Strictly going off screenshots. So what they told me was there's a portal type joint that everybody was calling the gateway to hell or something.
There's an inflatable gate to hell. That's what it is.
It was a cross that was upside down at the top. Now, the conspiracy theorists are going to say, well, what do y'all think that set was for? Was it just so everybody could get lit?
So he could capture souls.
I knew you was going to say
man.
that. Go ahead, man.
Let me tell you something. The reason there are still black people in this country that cannot believe that other black people have money through hard work, innovation, and
Only entertainers, though.
Yeah, because it's like, the only reason Jay-Z and Beyonce got all that money is because they in Illuminati and sold their souls to
And
the
when
devil.
she danced, you can, if you freeze frame it, you can see the demon leaving her.
Let me tell you something. If you could sell your soul to the devil for a couple of hit records, look, the poor devil wouldn't be able to keep up with the paperwork for some of y'all. Devil would be over there stressed out with a cigarette and it's like, man, I can't believe somebody else tried to sell their soul to me so they can get their spin.
Where is the devil getting all this money?
Yeah, exactly. How is the devil only has so many placements on Billboard? So that's that. But, I saw a video to where there were the security at the front gate and people just started running in.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, okay, did all these people have tickets and they just didn't want to be patient? Or was there people there who were like, yeah, we're just going to push our way in?
Y'all seen what happened to Lollapalooza? Like, what was that, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Where everybody outside the gate just pushed in?
Yeah.
People at this got trampled like bad.
When I look at that and see, this is how I knew they were serious because they had the horsey police out there,
What you call them? Say it again.
The horsey police. Let me tell you something.
The Black Expo police.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't know IMPD, Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, had horsey
City
police,
Classic police
until it was Black Expo or Circle City Classic, because that's the only time you see the horsey
Moving
police.
forward, I will now, every time I see
Horsey police.
a police
So,
officer on a horse, I'm going to call them Black Expo
When I see
police.
horsey police, I know
Horsey police.
the police mean business.
To answer your question, no, they didn't have tickets. And a lot of the people that showed up, once it was sold out, they were still going to show
Are
up.
we going to see this show?
Yeah, they're going because
So I blame a lot of those people. Like, that's not on Travis Scott because
but
there's a bunch of irresponsible people.
for sure. But historically, that's been a thing at his shows.
That's what y'all
Astroworld.
said. Yeah.
So historically, that's been a thing. So people are going knowing that even if they don't have a ticket,
I'm in there.
They're going to storm and they're going to be there. Now, that's when the question becomes, and I haven't watched any videos, but I've seen a lot of commentary back and forth. But is Live Nation at fault? Is Travis Scott at fault?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it a mixture of both?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it something else? I don't know the answer to that. I think it's a mixture
I would
of
say
everything.
it's a mixture of everything, including the fans. Because you can't just absolve the people that are actively
Showed up with no tickets.
Yeah, and pushing and shoving and
Right.
are rowdy.
They low key messed it up.
Everybody
Messed it up, but when you got people, you got a show that big, and then you got people that don't have tickets added to the mix. Like, that's a lot, man. 50,000 people.
When you're talking, well, I don't know if you guys, there was a documentary about Woodstock 99 and how that just got completely, and there was assaults and sexual assaults and people just
yeah,
a lot of
setting
shrooms,
things on
a lot of
fire.
LSD,
And just
a lot of rain
like,
and mud.
Like, the fact that they were charging this is 99, charging like $8 for a bottle of water, and it was super hot on this military base. Like, the reason there's Coachella now is basically a reaction to the
99.
how bad that that Woodstock went. I think there was blame put on a couple of artists that didn't deserve it, specifically DMX for some things, and I didn't like
That's the DMX joint with the red, where he got the red on, right?
But they made it seem like he specifically did something wrong. I was like, this is not DMX's fault. So
yeah,
I think the only way you can really put it on Travis Scott is if he's like inciting some sort of violence.
Like if he's
if it was like January 6th.
Right. But I saw a promo record.
Kanye West doesn't know
I
what
saw
you're
a
talking
promo
about.
video. I saw a promo video for Astroworld, and it was literally in the video was people hopping over the fence.
Oh, for real?
To get to the stage.
I hadn't seen that.
Goes to court, then
yeah, that's not going to look good on.
Are you wait? That was a promo.
If you go right now, it was on Astroworld's Instagram as a promo.
What?
As of
That's
12
not a good
hours
look.
ago.
That don't
not
help.
a good look
That
for
doesn't
the
help.
legal team.
Yeah, that
Somebody
doesn't
needs
help.
to take that down.
It's too late.
Yeah,
It's way too late now.
Yeah, everybody's got it.
Yeah.
But to me, I feel like we've touched on a lot of things. I feel like in these situations, we always tend to just put all the blame on the entities rather than the individuals sometimes. And not that I want to say that it's the individual's fault or anything like that, but or even like the kids that were hurt there.
Somebody
that
10 should not be at a concert.
No,
like
and that's
that
the
by
guardians.
themselves.
That's the parent.
Yeah, that's on the
parents.
parents.
That's the parents and guardians,
Yeah, I don't get
regardless.
that. That's on the
you know,
parents.
you should know better if you're going to send your child to something like that. What they're getting into.
My child is not going to any concert without me. Like if my child was 10 and they wanted to see Travis Scott, I'm going to the concert too.
I can't imagine sending a kid that's 10 by themselves
No.
to any concert. But
That's irresponsible.
even a Justin,
Especially not that
even a
one.
Justin
couldn't go to
Bieber
the
or
mall
not
at
even
10.
a Teletubbies
No.
concert. Like I'm not sending my kid to a Teletubbies concert by themselves.
doing
Like,
nothing by themselves.
Yeah,
Like,
10
so-
years old.
But there needs to be a certain level of responsibility, I think, on Live Nation and,
Okay.
and the concert.
Definitely.
And because if you know that this is going to potentially happen because it's happened in the past, what are you doing to
Safeguard.
potentially safeguard it and potentially prevent it from happening again in the future? I think part of it has to go on Travis Scott to potentially like communicate this. Like we don't want now. I'm guessing in the future that will
I
always
bet
be.
he start, I bet he start now. Yeah,
No,
he's still gonna perform.
Maybe no Astroworld.
Yeah, not gonna be no Astroworld.
but it ain't gonna be
It's a
like
wrap
it
for
might
that.
not be like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Astroworld is closed again now.
But
yeah.
also the venue location, right? If you know that this many people are going to show, why not choose a different venue location?
or make
Because you
make
sold
sure you
tickets and like I guess you had more hope and faith in humanity than people who with no tickets were going to show up and bum rush the
You're
horsey
not.
police.
You're not.
man.
I don't think you're thinking about people are going to die at my show. I don't think
No,
that
I don't
ever.
think-
you don't
crossed
go
that
into it like
mind.
that. Yeah,
Maybe hurt or something like
Yeah.
that, but I don't think you're going to.
you don't go into it like that.
I don't
yeah.
put any of that on him or anybody realistically, but there are certain things that when you are in charge of putting together a concert venue, you have to think about how people are going to be situated and what's going to happen in an emergency and how
Yeah,
people can move. And I don't know.
He always has multiple angles too, as far as how he sets up his show. Like even when he was here, his stage literally covered the whole floor of what's it called, Bainbridge now.
Yeah,
So it started
the place
up
where the
here.
Pacers play.
Yeah.
yeah, whatever.
But the main stage is up here. But when he first came out, he came out pretty much in the middle of the crowd. So he came out here, and there's a walkway all the way up to the main stage. Then he had a roller coaster in that mug where he got in the roller coaster and actually rode it. So I mean, he always has multiple things going on as far as his show is concerned. Now, his fans are younger fans,
Mm-hmm.
and they know what he's about, essentially.
yeah,
Now, if you're not hip to him and you're just coming to a show based off of popularity and somebody say, oh, you need to go check out a Travis Scott show, maybe you need to understand it a little bit and safeguard yourself as far as what can possibly happen. Because, I mean, these are mosh pits and people going nuts. And when you got 50,000 people
it's a lot, man.
pretty much in a mosh pit,
Right.
that's dangerous. There's no
Very.
way a 10-year-old should be in the middle of any of
Mosh
that.
pit. Like
Kids, period.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's a completely I don't want to say blameless by any means because I don't, but it's one of those things it's tragic, and I hope that it's used as a stepping stone to potentially prevent stuff like this from happening in the future to some extent. I don't know how that's done. You know, that's not my area of expertise.
more horsey police.
But
Well, that'll happen.
maybe
Something.
more horsey police or horsey.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and this is
No
nothing
ticket,
new
you get- we
for
return you
Live
around.
Nation. Live Nation are pretty much the only people that can throw shows essentially like this. So it's a monopoly at the end of the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what needs to be done about that so that somebody else can come in and show them how they need to have shows or whatnot?
Do we think any of the lawsuits will hold weight?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You think so?
Somebody's got to
Yeah,
pay.
somebody's getting paid.
Somebody always has to pay.
Yeah. I seen a video of there was somebody crying about their maybe their cousin or brother or something died at the Travis Scott show and saying that Travis is responsible for this.
Nah,
You just want to get paid at the
Yeah.
end of the day. That's
Yeah.
what that's about. I mean,
I don't think it's fair to like you said. We've all said 100% just throw that on him. Nah, that's not it. But I also agree with like Jay Moore says, somebody gonna have to pay.
It doesn't have to, I don't like. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing type thing as far as accountability. Like it can be spread. I think it's on a lot of different people.
And he said he's refunding everybody their money back.
Oh, great.
I mean,
I mean, I guess it's a start, but you might as well keep that money because you got to pay it out to somebody soon.
He got money.
Yeah.
Oh, he got plenty of money, but it's. I don't know, man. It's unfortunate first of all, but
very unfortunate.
It's gonna pop up again. Like this is far from over. Like it's just getting started, and I can see more.
People used to fall out when Michael Jackson used to walk out on stage.
True.
Literally fall out and have to get carried out on stretchers.
Yeah.
And I even seen some people saying mad at Kylie Jenner because she posted a picture of the stage and there's a ambulance in the crowd. Oh, these celebrities are so out of touch with reality and blah blah blah. It's like I hate to blame it on a generation.
Yeah.
But there are so many soft people out here right now. And what I mean by that is that there always has to be a blame that's deeper than what actually happened. I could have innocently taken a picture and not even seen the top of an ambulance or some lights in it, but you're literally sitting there dissecting it. So you're dissecting it and you're coming up with all these reasons. Now, the Kardashian family are a little out of touch, but
you know what?
We're talking about things that you're trying to pick and choose from in order to make this incident seem like they don't even care what's going on because of this, that, and the other.
I don't blame her at all for that. I didn't even see that, but who I do blame is like People Magazine. They basically posted a picture of Kylie Jenner and be like, Kylie Jenner's okay.
Yeah,
it's like, fam, what I'm saying?
Kylie Jenner was not in the way of harm
at all.
And she's pregnant. You think she was out there in the middle of that crowd?
Come on, man.
So
yeah, when Kanye was here for his what show was that where he opened up
the
here?
Pablo tour.
Pablo.
Yeah.
Travis Scott was in the crowd with us.
Yeah.
Partying. Everybody was going nuts. So I mean, that's his energy.
Look, unfortunately, there's just this happens almost like a generationally. I remember being from St. Louis where Guns N' Roses basically destroyed our version of Verizon, which was Rutherford Amphitheater at the time.
Probably destroyed the hotel too.
You're talking about if you want to go back to the Rolling Stones in Altamont, you want once again 99
Lollapalooza.
Not yet. Now
I mean Woodstock.
Woodstock. It's just an unfortunate when you get thousands of people together in a place. You really got to hope for the best because it doesn't take much for somebody to start pushing or something to happen.
It's going to happen
to where if you have a large group of people where, tragedy can strike. Luckily, it happens a lot less than it happens more, if you will. I've been to plenty of shows and nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around all these people, were able to go in, enjoy the show, get back to my car or Uber safely. But it doesn't take much for something to happen, and people start panicking, and
herds of people is
only
different.
50 50 or 60 people need to start panicking to turn an entire event into chaos.
Yes, and to even when people were saying he should have ended the show. Now imagine him ending the show and people in other corners
all
of this that don't know what's going on, because obviously everybody there doesn't know what's going on.
Right.
These are isolated events or isolated areas.
Right.
So somebody that's standing over here, they don't know that that's happening right now.
Yeah.
And so when I decide, hey, this is over, I'm out of here. You think they're about to just leave peacefully?
No.
Yeah,
that could have got worse.
Way worse.
I remember I saw somebody.
And you can't see everything from the look.
I
can't see everything from the stage.
Hey, I saw somebody say, like Travis Scott should have done this and should have did this, and he's in charge of the crowd. And I just think back to like times where we've done festivals and stuff, and like if something like that would have happened, like
what do you mean he should have done?
I wouldn't have known what to do with that.
Exactly.
I would have been like, maybe I would have in the moment be like, hey, or something, but. Would I probably still perform? I don't know if I would still perform. That'd be kind of.
I've been in clubs where a fight breaks out, and this is only maybe 200 or 300 people. And honestly, it doesn't help to turn the music off because when you turn the music off, everybody starts looking at the fight.
What's going on? What's
when
happening?
50 was doing a club tour when the Get Rich or Die Trying album came out. He came to the Mecca.
Wow.
Yes. And he's at the Mecca and cats get to fighting. He stopped the music. But the reason why he stopped the music was to say, nah, let them fight.
Yeah. That sound like 50 Cent
I'm
too.
dead serious. He stopped the music. He said, nah, let them fight. Make me feel right at home.
This shouldn't be funny, but it is.
It is.
No, because the last show
He said it is.
I saw at the Mecca, it was Halloween night, and 3 6 Mafia.
Man,
was
you
there.
can't get more spooky.
Hey,
than that.
everybody was at the Mecca, man. I'm
And
telling you.
and they started fighting, and then Juicy J and Paul, they're like, hey y'all, stop that fighting. And he's like, stop that fighting, stop that. They made a song, fighting, stop that fighting, stop that fighting, stop that fighting. It was one for the books. Shout out to everybody who's ever been to the Mecca.
Hey, man, that was lovely.
Hey, Lone, don't think
time.
I didn't catch what I heard you. Everybody got to fighting. Shout out to Silk. All right, let's squeeze this last topic in before we get out of here. Don't do that, Red August. So,
I think the best thing from that segment was Horsey Police.
yes,
Yeah,
shout out to Black Expo Police too. So the homie Snoop, who actually dropped a crazy joint with Benny, Jada, and Busta, man. It's called Murder Music on a project he's gonna put out. So I think it's more of a compilation, but I'm excited to hear what he does with that. It's a Def Jam release, so shout out to Snoop. But there's an article recently that's been popping up where Snoop says aging rappers should get the same respect as aging rock stars. And I'll read couple of the quotes from this. He says they don't limit the Rolling Stones. They don't limit those other groups that do it outside of our genre. He says, slow it down a little bit and start putting some respect on our name and give us the respect. Put some respect on our name and give us the respect that for who we are. Don't put no time limit on how old we are or what we are, because we don't look at it like the rockers and say, man, he got white hair now when he used to have all black hair and now it's gray and now we look old. So Snoop is basically saying what I've been saying for years. In this culture, we don't appreciate the older rappers like in other cultures. We don't. And I think it's dope that he actually said that. I've never heard.
I think that's BS at this point.
I disagree 100%.
Because you know what, especially now that we're coming, I don't want to say coming out of, but like with the Versus era, Jadakiss and the whole lock, they could go on tour anywhere right now and get a bag. Big Daddy Kane,
who do you think
could
will be in
go
the
out
crowd?
and get a bag. It'll be people who watch Versus for the first time with their parents and their parents.
I think it'll be people like us that's in the crowd. I don't think it'll be.
But you know what?
22-year-olds that are saying, I love Snoop. I love these guys. And we respect
no,
them.
Snoop is all world. If Snoop comes to town, everybody's going to be there.
Have you seen all the advertisements that Snoop has under his belt?
Oh, Snoop is everywhere.
As far as worldwide?
Anytime Chuck D and Public Enemy show up, it's packed.
Yeah,
like I think right now, like there was that definitely was that was a real complaint 15, maybe 20 years ago. But I think now there is such an appreciation, especially with now hip hop artists getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the fact that there's so much access to music. Now these kids, they don't have to go out and buy an LL Cool J record.
Do you think
they can go ahead and just stream it and have an appreciation?
Do you think
for
kids in their 20s, early 20s, we'll call it the first half, you think kids at that age group look at Public Enemy like kids that listen to rock music look at the Rolling Stones?
Well, no, because honestly, you go see the Rolling Stones, it's people my age there.
But it's also younger people in there too.
Yeah, because their parents brought
old people.
Exactly.
But you know what? If your parents bring you to the Public Enemy, or you go see Salt and Pepper or whoever's playing, like these people are doing arena tours with no new music out.
Because Snoop is, to y'all point, Snoop is like an anomaly.
He's an
because
international
he's
star.
everywhere. So you can take him over to the side. I think he's speaking for everybody.
Rappers who
versus him.
The only problem that's older rappers having a problem is nobody wants to get vaccinated. So
if you want to keep it a bug, Snoop is bigger than Drake.
You know what? I'm not mad at that.
As far as
I'm not mad
how
at that.
his influence and recognizability or whatever,
You know,
We'll
'cause
take
my,
that.
all over the world.
my mother knows exactly who Snoop is. If
Mine
I showed her a
too.
picture of Drake, she'd be like,
Mine too. What you think, Lone? Terms of what Snoop is saying here.
I like Jay Moore's point because I think that even though I agree to an extent that that has always been the case, that we are seeing a change in the generations. So like for our generation, how old we are, I could agree with that for the legends that are older than us. I don't feel like the legends older than Snoop got that type of praise, but I feel like Snoop and younger probably will. I think it's just going to get better as it
I
kind
can
of
dig that.
grows.
You know,
but,
you gotta
but if you
remember-
talk about Big Daddy Kane or Rakim when he came here, or even Slick Rick when we opened up for him, you know, the crowd wasn't overly. I mean, it was older people. You know, it wasn't a lot of younger people.
People still
You
are
know.
going to go see Run DMC.
I'll go see him.
Yeah, but it's not going to be. You know, again, hip hop is like we mentioned this multiple times in the show. Hip hop is a younger person's genre, and
That's what it was built on.
it's kind of just what it is. So I think we're still learning as a culture of hip hop, right, to appreciate cool into the.
But we are.
others.
We've
Versus
literally
definitely helps too, to his
we've
point.
literally had this conversation before in reference to hip hop growing up. We are from. We were pretty much born into hip hop, the first generation. If
Right.
kind of 10, 15 years maybe.
Yeah.
That before it got super popular. But when you think about these artists that came out when we were younger, like you can call it a golden era, the 90s. The 90s are still hot right now, like as far as influencing what's going on. Like you can go to other countries, and that's all they mess with is 90s hip hop, 90s R&B. Like that's their only influence is that. So you can take them, whatever 90s artists or whatnot, even some before that, and do a tour, and it's going to sell out, and people are going to have a good time, and they're going to keep going back to these shows.
I think it depends on the artist.
I agree with that.
But I think
I agree with that.
But there's not like all of these rock bands aren't still popping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you have anomalies that
everybody
are
brings up the Rolling Stones. That
Yeah.
is a special case.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're huge.
I mean,
Rolling Stones.
Plus
and,
everybody else is dead.
That's true.
Yeah,
He's
Rolling
stupid. He
Stones,
right, though. He right.
Metallica.
Like, we
you know
got-
what I'm saying? Metallica can still tour.
We legit have to talk like about Metallica and
Guns N' Roses.
You
Bon
have to talk
Jovi
about the
and
biggest
Bon Jovi,
acts
Yeah.
of their eras ever.
Guns
But
N'
you-
Roses was just
But you're not talking
Yeah.
about like Anthrax or
right.
or those.
Megadeth or
Yeah, you're not talking about them.
boy, y'all know so many of these.
Dead Milkmen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
y'all
I
know
mean,
so many of these groups, man. I'm sick.
Yeah,
What
no,
was
ain't
that-
nobody,
what was that
ain't nobody
noise?
going to see Limp Bizkit like that.
yeah.
I don't know what group do that, but I don't want to see them. I don't, whatever that is, I don't want to go to
Sound
that.
like some fake System of a Down.
Okay,
It's something else.
is that what that is?
Slipknot? Would you go see Slipknot?
You'd have to play it for me.
It looks like
No.
an interesting show, but I'm not going there because I know
cool.
what kind of artist. This kind of goes back to the Travis Scott
Oh,
concert.
I'm not going.
I'm not going to a Slipknot show because I know what's going to happen at a Slipknot
happened-
show.
Yes.
Well, not and everybody who wants to
Similar.
go see Slipknot
Oh,
is
but
40.
people-
that people
but-
going to be tearing their ACLs
But
and
people
dislocating
know.
knees.
It's like expected.
Oh, they go there for that.
They go to get bloody
Kind of. It's
Yeah.
it's kind
Oh,
of.
okay.
It's
They go
kind
to
of,
they
it's
go
the
to jump
culture.
around shirtless.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
and body smack each other.
You go to
Body
see-
smack.
body smack.
Okay,
You know, when two like naked stomachs slap each other.
that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah, but it's all dudes, and I'm not here for that, man. I'm cool.
Shout out to I guess Slipknot and body smacking. Is that it?
Body smacking.
Yeah.
And if
Okay.
that's what they want to do.
That's what they
I'm
want to
cool.
do. I feel.
All right then.
Yeah, but like we always bring up these same groups, like you said.
What about Meatloaf? Shots to Nate.
Yeah, I'm cool
Yeah,
on
Chase,
Meatloaf.
I'm cool on Meatloaf.
There are some groups that I wouldn't like. I wouldn't mind seeing like the Red Hot Chili Peppers or something
Yeah,
like
that'd be
that.
cool.
I think that's a group that can still
They
tour.
trans-
They
but-
still rocking?
They transcend though.
Yeah, I mean, they
They're
still
supposed to
probably
have a
still
new
getting
album coming
Pops,
out.
they still getting that
Records, yeah.
paper.
But like,
Okay.
there's a lot of hip hop artists I think that still get their due, and people are going to go see them. I mean,
With the bands that you guys are naming,
You
like
kind of got to
that's
stay relevant, man,
no, you have to. But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is the bands that you guys are naming, like
or be really, really good.
I look at Rakim like Bon Jovi. I look at KRS-One and Public Enemy, they are those guys.
That's how we look at it, but you got to realize
weren't
they
that
didn't
big.
sell nearly as many
They ain't
records.
sells me
They
records.
weren't popular like that back
And
then. That's
yeah,
the
they
thing.
were. There was a.
Weren't
You were
Snoop popular?
you were still
Snoop was
confined
popular.
to okay. We got 30 minutes a week to
Yeah.
play your records,
Yeah.
while Bon Jovi gets to get played every 45
Come on,
minutes.
That's
man.
fair.
They
That's
was
fair.
doing they were doing stadium tours back then.
Yeah.
Selling them mugs out too.
Yes.
And not
Some
and not
out.
basketball. They were doing football stadium tours.
Yes.
So like,
Come on, man.
even if you whittle away at the football stadium numbers, like
Yeah.
you can get it into a basketball stadium now.
That's why Michael Jackson was so important.
And Mike is that dude. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here. We pressed for time. I appreciate all the support. Shout out to the chat. Y'all were live tonight. Google everything New Old Heads. Follow and subscribe wherever you see.
Yep.
We appreciate the support. See y'all next week.
In a
Peace.
minute.
Yep.
Bong bong.